Hi, welcome to my channel, Handmade in Marbella. My name's Jeanette. This is episode 2 of a series about granny squares, and in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet a traditional granny square and also how to change colour so you can make a striped granny square. I'm using an Aran weight yarn and a 5mm hook. All the squares that I make in this series will be the same size, so if you want to, you can save them up and make a blanket at the end and they'll all fit together nicely. I will be using UK crochet terms throughout the video, but I will also put the US crochet terms at the top of the screen. In this video, I'm not really explaining how to create each stitch, but more which stitches to use and where to put them. So if you're very new to crochet and you need help in learning how to make the basic stitches like double crochet and treble crochet and the chains, then I'll put some links in the description below so you can watch those videos to get comfortable with the stitches before you come back to this video to actually learn how to make the square. So to start off, we need a slip stitch. And then we need 4 chains. Join the chains together to make a circle. Keep a hold of the center as you pull that last stitch through so that you know exactly where you're going to be working. So we start with a double crochet and a chain. This counts as the first treble. And then we need 2 trebles. Two chains, and then in the same space 3 trebles. Two more chains. 3 more trebles. This is for the third side of the square. Two chains and 3 more trebles for the final side, the fourth side of the square. Then to join for the fourth corner, we're not going to do two chains like we did in the other corners. We're going to join with a half treble. So, and you need to go into this space at the top of the first full treble, not the double crochet and chain, ignore that, but the space at the top of the first treble. So a half treble. And this means that you end exactly in the corner of the square, so it's easy to start the next round. Turn the square over so you work in the back. The reason for this is because if you work on the same side every time, the square can become twisted. But if you turn over on each round, then the square stays nice and square. So when you turned your work over, you should have ended up with the yarn at the front. Ready to make for the second round. We start with a double crochet in the corner space and 1 chain above to stand for the first treble crochet. And then in that same space, 2 more treble crochets. So in the next space, which is for this round is already the next corner, we make 3 trebles in that corner space. Two chains. And in the same corner space, we need to do 3 more trebles. Then we're on to the next space, which is the next corner. 3 trebles in that space. Two chains. And in the same space, 3 more trebles. and into the next space, the next corner, 3 trebles, two chains, and in the same space 3 more trebles. So then we come back to the first corner where we started. We need to put in that first space there 3 trebles to make the first part of the corner. And in the same way as the previous round, we're not going to do 2 chains, we're going to do a half treble into the space at the top of the first full treble. So at the end of the second round, turn your work over so the yarn is at the front, ready to start the third round. And once again, we start with a double crochet in that corner space and 1 chain and 2 trebles. So this time around, we're going to do, in every corner space, we'll do the same as before, 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles. But now we also have a space halfway along. So in that space, we will just do 3 trebles. And then when you get to the corner, 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles in the same space. Then in the next space is just 3 trebles, and in the corner 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles. In the next space, 3 trebles, and the next space is the corner again, so 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles in the same space. And 3 trebles in the space on the side. Then we're back to the corner where we started. We've only done the trebles on the second part of the corner. So in the same way as on the previous round, we do 3 trebles in that space. And finally join with a half treble. And now we have 3 rounds. Turn the work over, ready for the 4th round. So the 4th round is the same as previously. You start with a double crochet in that corner space and 1 chain and then 2 trebles. This time you can see we've increased, so we have 2 spaces and then the corner space. So in each space along the side we do 3 trebles, and in the corner 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles. So we'll do 3 trebles here, trebles in this one, and then in the corner 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles. So 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles. And once again we have 2 spaces along the side. We put 3 trebles in each one. When we get to the corner, 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles, and you do that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. So if you want to pause the video here, and I'll see you at the end of the round. So now we're almost at the end of the 4th round. See, we've done in every corner, we've done 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles. On each space along the side we've done 3 trebles. So in the final, when we get to the final space, the final corner, 3 trebles, once again we join with a half treble and then turn the work over to start on the next round. So every round now is the same. The only difference is that on each round you get 1 extra space. So on the previous round when we did the corner, and then we had 2 spaces where we put 3 trebles and then we got to the corner. On the next one you do the corners, start the corner here, then we have 1, 2, 3 spaces before we get to the corner. On the next round there'll be 4 spaces, and so on and so on. And you can keep going with this square as large as you like. But as I said at the beginning, if you're wanting to use these squares to make a blanket, you need to do 6 rounds so that it's going to match the other squares in the series. When you've finished, made the squares as large as you want, you cut the yarn and pull through the final chain and then sew in your ends. Once you know how to make a basic granny square, then you can learn how to change colours. So you can make a striped granny square. And you can change the colours as often as you like. You can change after each round, or you can do 3 or 4 rounds before you change your colour, and you can mix and match. You can do 3 rounds and then 1 round. In this demonstration I'm going to do 2 rounds of each colour. So first of all, in exactly the same way as you made the first granny square, make 2 rounds in the colour you've chosen for your first colour. When you get to the end, literally all you have to do is cut the yarn and with your hook just pull it through that last stitch and pull tight. Then we're going to turn the work over the same as we did before and start in any corner. Don't start in the same corners you just cut your yarn. Start in any other corner. The reason for this is when you fasten in all the ends, you don't want them all in the same place. So if you spread it around, then it's much easier to find spaces to thread in your ends. So you take your second colour, and first of all you want to make a slip stitch onto your hook, because we're going to do a standing treble. And to do this, all you have to do, put your finger on the loop that's on your hook, yarn over in the same way as making a treble, but it's just not attached to anything yet. So you yarn over, hook in the hole, yarn over, pull back through. You've got 3 threads on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, keep a hold of this first one so it doesn't twist around, yarn over, pull through 2, and now we have a treble. 2 more trebles in that space. And exactly the same way as before, we need 3 trebles in this space, 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles in this space, and work your way around. So pause the video here and then I'll meet you back at the end to show you how to join. So when you get all the way around, as before, you do 3 trebles in that final corner to complete the corner. And then we're going to join with a half treble as before. The only difference is that this time we're going to actually go into the top of the first treble because we have a whole treble at the beginning. So you do a half treble into that space. Turn your work over, and if you're carrying on with the same colour, you just carry on making another round in the same way as before. When you've done 2 rounds of the second colour, we can go on to the third colour. So once again we start with a standing treble crochet, so we put a slip stitch on your hook and make a standing treble in that first corner, and then 2 more normal trebles. And then you carry on in exactly the same way before. Just remember to make sure you've turned your square over. The easy way to tell if you turned it or not is the front of a stitch is much smoother than the back of the stitch. The back of the stitch is quite lumpy. So every time you start a new round, you should have the one you're stitching into should be more lumpy because you're making the smooth stitches on the front. Once you've done 2 rounds of this colour, then it will be the right size for the squares of the blanket that we can make at the end of the series. Or you can just carry on and experiment with different combinations of 1 stripe or 3 or 4 stripes. There's so many different combinations you can play with. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. If you want to be notified of the next episode, then please subscribe and turn on the notifications so that YouTube will notify you when the next episode comes out. The next episode will be an off-center granny square or a mitered granny square, and again will be the same size as the ones we've done today so that it can be made into a blanket later.